Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Tasteless, and today we're going to be doing another Tarkov guide. Just like the customs guide, safe and easy routes for new players, we're going to be doing it today on Lighthouse. So with that, before we get into the video, please make sure to leave a like as it helps a ton. Comment for the YouTube algorithm. I know it sounds absolutely mad, but it does help a lot. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've just hit 500 subscribers, which means we're going to be doing a fat giveaway. So make sure you look out for that video on Friday. So with that, let's crack on with the video, boys. So, spawning in on a scav, if you run or spawn further down the road down there, there is actually a bus with a broken crate next to it. There's going to be high value tech loot in there, so it is worth checking out if you spawn close to it. However, I haven't spawned close, I don't want to run all the way back. Where I want to go is to these crates and stuff over here on the road. That's going to be really, really important on our scav. I do want to point out this guide is going to be focused on both player and scav, so PMC and scav basically. So yeah, as a scav, you do want to loot these crates. You don't want to do it as a PMC. It's too dangerous, too risky. I will be putting hotspots such as this one up here. Watch out for this spot as a scav because people are doing scav shooting quests on the road. So keep your eyes peeled that no one's up there. But usually on a scav, I do like to hit this as usually relatively safe. As a PMC, I would avoid this area at all costs. Purely because as a PMC, you get in the map earlier. And obviously being on the road, you're extremely open, extremely vulnerable. So you kind of want to avoid it as a PMC. But as a scav, it's a lot safer. There's usually other scavs about. You can see if they're up. And yeah, you want to run over here and just loot these boxes, basically. They contain fuel, G fuel, not G fuel, D fuel, fuel conditioners, stuff like that. Really expensive. Water filters, whatever, you know, the expensive stuff. Then we want to run over to here. And this is where the kind of PMC part of the guide starts. So regardless of where you spawn, whether it's PMC or scav, you do want to focus primarily on these locations. You don't want to go anywhere else. And also, we're taking into account the fact that we've got the ability to leave at path to shoreline, which is available regardless of where you spawn. Unless your fence rep sucks like mine, but I'm assuming as a new player, your fence rep probably doesn't suck. So, you do want to come to this building, definitely as a scav. As a PMC, make sure to keep a sharp eye and ear out when outside and inside this building. You want to come over here, you want to check this box for tech loot, you want to check the bed for stims and other nice bits and bobs. If you come in this room, you've got a duffel bag here. Always worth checking duffel bags. You can find GPUs, you can find really, really high tier items in here. And the room next door, once again, is going to have a duffel bag. There's also going to be a couple of spawns. As you can see, the milk spawns there. There's also Bitcoin spawns on the shelves and stuff like that, but that's extremely rare. But do keep an eye out for those. There you can see, nice fuel conditioner. From here, we're going to go to the upstairs of the building. This room, like I said, once again, make sure to check this box. In front of the box and on the bed. The right room is irrelevant unless you're interested in sugar and stuff like that, which is also, to be fair, nice for money. After that, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to go to the left here. We're going to check on this desk as intel can spawn. Also, to the left of the desk, you can get GP coins, Bitcoin, stuff like that. Check the toolbox. You know, always check toolboxes, stuff like that. There's lots and lots and lots of expensive loot inside. For example, bolts, really, really good. As you can see on the bed, there's going to be a mule. On the floor, there's going to be a Vaseline. And then we've got a med bag as well. Like I said, when you're on a scav, it's relatively easy to get into this building. As a PMC, it's, you know, a lot more dangerous. You've got to be a lot more aware of your surroundings, what's going on around you. So make sure to keep that in mind. But, however, the benefits to this route that I take through the map means we're safer than usual when it comes to Lighthouse, as we're not actually traversing much of the map. We're not cutting through many spawns, in a sense, if we get the spawn on this side of the map. I will talk about spawns, stuff like that later. As you can see, we've got some jackets there. We've got a jacket in the other side as well. And next to the jacket, we're going to have a duffel bag on the floor as well. So we're going to loot that up, see what's inside. Like I said, I will talk about, you know, places to look out for, PvP hotspots, stuff like that soon at the end of the video. As you can see here, we're going into this room on the right. There's going to be near the laptop right here. High value loot spawn, Bitcoins, Rolexes, stuff like that. There can be also tech loot. Got another duffel bag. We're getting some bolts out of that one. And we're going to go into this room where, as you can see, there's going to be an ironing board with stims on top of it sometimes. Decent bullets. On this bed, you want to check for Bitcoins. Also, the shelves in there. Also worth checking. So running out of this building, we're going to run out here. We're going to take a left. We're going to go in the shed. We're going to look on the floor right there where that E-motor is. And also loot this crate right here. It's going to contain technical loot, supplies, tools, stuff like that. Then we're going to go into this other shack, pick up the stuff on the floor there. These couches spawn rare items. Do keep an eye out. Check the corners of the room. And then loot the jacket. I do want to stress that loot and jackets are really, really important. This is actually how I found my one Mark of the wipe. in this container there are moonshines, also moonshine spawn there. Not 100% of the time, obviously. I haven't made it sound like they are. But yeah, you want to run up here and go to the left and check this other toolbox, this big garden box. I don't know what it's called. For more technical supply and loot, as you can see here. Then you want to run inside. You want to check the corner there. You want to check the table here on the right and this big box here. This is where you can find your, you know, military tubes and stuff like that laying around here. As you can see there, we've got some M scissors. We're going to clear up some space for those. Yeah, bear in mind you do need to, you know, keep your ears and eyes out. Your eyes out? Don't keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes in. While you're in this area, though, because, you know, PMCs, scavs can be lurking. So you want to run out. You want to check the back of this van. Boom. Sometimes there's D-fuel, sugar, stuff like that in there. And then you want to quickly loot this house, being extremely careful because they can hear you. There's an M-tube spawn just there, by the way. They can hear you if they're up in the mountains when you're on the wood in this building. So you do need to keep a sharp ear out for that one. So you want to check this right in front of the TV stand right there. That's also, you know, Bitcoin spawn, GPUs can spawn there, stuff like that. Very, very rare though. Check once again the technical supply crate. There's going to be one inside and one out the back. We're going to check that in a second. But like I said, regardless of where you spawn on a PMC, focus primarily on looting these locations. If you loot these locations and then leave at path to shoreline, you'll make a ton of money. What gear should you be running? You should be running, well, obviously, if you're a scav, you get what you're given. But on a PMC, you want to bring a relatively good backpack, and you want to bring a gun, you know, that you're comfortable with. That's not too expensive. If you need cheap budget guns, you know, watch my budget video guide, whatever. And yeah, but basically make sure you do have a big backpack, because most of the time you're going to get a lot of loot out of this, you know. And I do want to stress that if you spawn far away, if you do get a really fast spawn, or if you spawn on the beach somewhere, you know, make your way slowly here. So we're going to run over to this big red building here. As you can see on the couch to the right of the computer, to the right of the television there, right there is spawn, and on the shelf on the left. We're going to run upstairs though because nothing spawned there. Check out this desk in here. There's not going to be anything right now, but sometimes there can be indeed Bitcoin, stuff like that. And then we're going to run into this room, another tech loot spawn right there. Bam, bam, bam. Those 3 spots are where you want to look. There's going to be GPUs. There's going to be other tech loot there, high tier usually. I've been getting quite unlucky recently, but usually I find some quite good stuff there. So yeah, moving on, we're going to hit this little shack, little shed outside. Hit the jacket. Like I said, I found a marked key in one of the jackets, so it's definitely always worth checking. Although I've checked hundreds of jackets and only found one marked key this wipe, but oh well, still worth checking. As you can see here, we're going to get some more tools, more supplies, stuff like that. Really, really nice for money. Then we're going to run over here to this little shack on the outskirts of the village. It's going to be one of the last places we actually do hit as a PMC or a scav, because this is right near the extract. So this is where you want to, you know, make your way to last. As you can see, going inside, you've got a duffel bag. On that chair / table, you can find stuff here. Found a Bitcoin right here as well, so do keep an eye out for that. On the chair, same. And also here in the chest of drawers, you can find intel, also a Bitcoin spawn right here. So do keep your eyes out for that, because they are really easy to miss. From here, in the sink, obviously, you've got items. You've got another jacket. And in the far left corner of this building, you are going to find random items like D-fuel and stuff like that. Moving on, we're going to run outside. We're going to run around to the left of the building. As you can see here, there's going to be a toolbox. Next to the toolbox, a table. Check both of those as more technical tools, stuff like that. Spawns there. We've got some cool shades. We're going to put those on. And right here, there's going to be another big old technical box, toolbox. There we go. That's what it's called. And so yeah, we want to look inside there. This table contains chocolate and sugar. Once again, chocolate and sugar. And in this little shed here, you've got a spawn there, spawn on that table, as you can see. Make some room for that. And then we've got a jacket to our left, and next to the jacket is basically a big box, and on top of that box can spawn like survival lighters, D-fuel, stuff like that. It's definitely worth checking as well. After that, as you can see, that's one of the spawns as well. After that, we want to just run basically out towards path of Lighthouse. This is the absolute last, final spot you're going to check, and that is the Moonshine spawn. On this bench next to this red backpack, there's actually going to be Moonshine that spawns. That's really cool, and it spawns quite often. I found a shit ton, excuse my language, a shit ton of Moonshine. Yeah, and then after that, you just want to hit path of Lighthouse. Unlucky for me, I have bad scav reps, so I've got to make my way all the way to hide out under the grotto, which isn't an issue. But yeah, as you can see, we've made a lot of money, and we don't encounter anyone on a scav. And on a PMC, I will talk about that. Areas you need to look out for. I'll draw a map up and put that up in a second for you guys. But first, like I said, I want to say, when you spawn in on a scav, make your way to these areas. Obviously, when you spawn on a PMC, you have the chance of spawning a lot further away. If that's the case, do not skip spawns. What I mean by that is don't rotate, don't just run in a straight line towards this area, okay? This is the area, yes, you do want to loot it. However, if you've got a bad spawn for it, don't rush. Take your time. If you get there later on in the raid and everything's gone, that's fine. We're extracting at path to shoreline. We just get a reset and we go again, hoping for another spawn. All good. Do not run like a madman into, you know, all these players that are all rushing for the rogues or all rushing for whatever. Just take your time. I can't stress that enough. That is going to be the difference between you surviving and you dying. So please, I apologise for me hitting the mic there. So yeah, take your time if you do get a bad spawn. If you do get a good spawn, I'll talk about the places that you actually really want to look out for as a PMC right now. So right now on your screen should be a map. As you can see, the big red circle is the area that we want to primarily focus on looting. The rogue area, the estates, the chalet, don't worry about them. The loot is just, it's good, but it's not great, and it's too risk, too reward for what we're looking at. Like I said, we're trying to get the safest route through the map, and this is going to be it. This is the area where you're going to, yes, okay, you will occasionally encounter players. You will probably encounter players more often than not as a PMC than a scav. I'd say a scav is a lot safer, less likely to encounter players because you're later on into the raid. Obviously a PMC early on into the raid. As you can see here, I've marked all the PMC spawns on the map with a big old yellow dot. And if you spawn on that south side on the beach, you do want to run, as shown on the image, forwards. You want to make your way forwards through the map before crossing over the road near the buses, you know, where that first building is. So we do want to skip the road. We don't worry about that as a PMC because we can get sniped from the players who spawn on the north side. Even the players who spawn on the south side can sit there sniping us. We do want to avoid that. We just want to walk forward, 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 clearing, keeping our eyes and ears open, as I say. And yeah, make your way to the road, then cross and go into the building that I showed, the big red building, where you can find intel. Okay, guys? And that big red circled area, it's not really a circle, but that big red marked off area in the middle is the area that you want to primarily focus on looting, whether you're a player or a player scav. Now there should be a new but very similar map on the screen with red circles labelled A, B and C. These are going to be the areas where you really want to watch out for PMCs and, you know, maybe angry traitor scavs, okay? So let's start with position A. Position A is in the big house where we're going to find that intel just across the road. Why you're going to encounter players, or more likely to encounter players, or need to be more aware in this area, is because you're inside. As every house in Lighthouse, you are on wood. You're making a shit ton of noise, okay guys? That means that people outside can hear you further away than you can hear them, which means they can ambush you. That's why I say, when you're a PMC, you need to be really, really aware of player scavs ambushing you when you're in this house, or other players. But if you're quick, the majority of the time, usually you're safe, you're good, don't worry about it. Like I said, if you do get a late spawn, expect people to be in there. And yeah, you can also ambush them. You know, if you do hear them running around, make sure you get a nice little ambush point and get a little ambush on them and steal their tasty, tasty loot that they got out of the building. Moving on to position B. Position B is the hills above all the houses in the little village. This is really important that you always keep your eyes out towards these hills to make sure there's no one sniping up there, making their way down the hills into the village, stuff like that. That's where you're going to encounter a lot of players. Like I said, I know I'm trying to make a safe route where you're avoiding PvP, but essentially it's very hard on some maps to completely avoid PvP, and I can never guarantee your safety in a raid saying that you will not encounter players here. That is not possible. Players can be absolutely anywhere. I do not control the players, sadly. However, by using this route, you're sticking to a very, very small and compact area of the map where you're going to find a shite ton of loot. That means you're kind of minimizing the threat to your safety, you know, by not traversing the whole map, basically. So make sure when you're in the village to keep your eyes peeled for that area at the top, in the mountains, also around the mountains, and also obviously in the village itself. Then we got position C, which is basically if you do spawn on the south side of the map and you run in a direction, like I say, always run forward, don't sprint forward, okay? Just walk forward, keep your eyes peeled, keep the lookout, try not to give away your position anyway, and, you know, just clear, slowly clear before you cross the road. Make sure it is clear. Like they say, like I teach you in school, look both ways before you cross the road. All right, guys. So keep that in mind when you spawn in that crappy south side spawn. Every other spawn, you can make your way to the village slowly. You know, like I said, don't rush there. Make your way slowly. And if you spawn very, very close, then congratulations, you've got the best spawn. You're about to get rich. Also, like I said, as a player scav, when you are looting the road, make sure to keep your eyes on that mountaintop because people do like to snipe from that area. The scavs on the road for their quest. So, with that, we come to the end of the video. If you do prioritize the spots that I showed in the video, you know, and go around primarily these buildings, you will find a shit ton of loot. You will find GPUs, you will find intel, you will find moonshine, you will find rubles. You will make loads of money. So, you know, you guys asked for the safest, easiest route on Lighthouse. That is the safest and easiest route I can possibly suggest. I do this route every day whenever I play Lighthouse, on a scav, on a PMC, whatever. This is the route I do. I make a shit ton of rubles from it. I have loads of fun doing it. And yeah, so make sure to stick to that. With that, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Like I said at the beginning, also hit a comment in the comment section as it helps with the YouTube algorithm. With that, I hope you guys have a nice day. Check out Friday's video for the giveaway and peace out.